I don't know. He had it done. It worked out okay, America. We can move on.
Oh, man.
Chris Paul does not need to be drugged to undergo any more procedures that we know of. D.C., though, my hometown, things are going from bad to worse. Check out this young fan during last night's home loss for the Sixers. I can relate, my friend. I can relate. This team is 2-8. I was that age, by the way, and I was a hardcore Bullets fan at that age.
Oh,
and also
God,
at that age,
man.
I was doing a lot of crying over the Bullets. So I understand. And look, Marcin Gortat, I guess the kid was Polish, so Marcin felt some responsibility. I'm sorry, little Polish Wizards fan. Sorry you had to see this tonight. Hey, really, I am.
The whole organization need to apologize to that little fan right there.
I hope he's not a season ticket holder because he's going to be crying every night.
You think so? You don't think there's any way out of this?
Call that little kid, man. Cheer him up. What they displayed last night, it's worth crying.
There's going to be a lot of crying out of that kid. Don't let him come back to the game.
Right, well, it could be. I don't know if it's going to get better anytime soon. I mean, they want Jan Mahimi to think that when he comes back, that'll make a difference. Scotty Brooks is having nightmares.
Wicked Wizards.
It's like, where are the players I was promised? But again, I digress. Still more of The Jump is coming up after this break. We have an outspoken Matt Barnes about the Kings' schedule, and Chauncey is going to be outspoken about that. But first, let's go back to this date in 2002, our distant replay.
Armstrong knocked away by Arenas. Ahead to Jason. Look out!
Ooh, that was nice.
Oh, my goodness. They're standing in the arena on that one. The pass off the steal and the finish.
I know you've seen this Russell Westbrook dunk like 402 times, but it's so good. You know you're going to watch it again. Westbrook delivering the dagger and then making sure that, Clint Capella's mom back in Switzerland heard about it. But here's what didn't make the highlight. As incredible as that dunk was, it wasn't exactly the smart play there. The Thunder led by 3 with seconds left. Any high school AAU coach will tell you, you want to draw the foul, you can seal the game at the free throw line. When you go for the dunk instead, you are depending on either making something spectacular, the way Russ did, or depending on a ref to give you a call. They're not always going to do that in the final seconds of a close game. You also, of course, run the risk of someone swatting your shot away completely, perhaps even into the hands of James Harden, who could have tied up the game. But here's the thing. Russell Westbrook, not an AAU coach. Westbrook loves risk, especially if the stakes involve him betting on himself. And in a way, that left-handed fireworks moment last night was a microcosm of the Thunder's young season. We keep sitting up here and talking about how the Thunder are going to have to figure out a way to make this more than just the Russ show, how this is unsustainable. But guess what? This is the Thunder, at least right now. Russ is on pace to set the NBA record for usage rate. And yeah, OKC is hoping Victor Oladipo can contribute more the way he did last night, or that Arvydas Sabonis' kid develops. But the truth is that no matter how smart and creative Billy Donovan is, you can't draw up plays for players you don't have. Instead, the Thunder are going to live and die with the risk of Russ right now. And sometimes it's going to work, and sometimes it's going to be a spectacular failure. So, guys, are you okay with that if you're OKC?
I think you have to be, because what you don't want to do is take away who Russ is, who he's been for 9 years, and that's aggressive. He's been having his foot on the throttle for the full game. And that play right there, he was just being aggressive. I mean, going to the basket, that's what you want to do because the team has to try to foul you. It just happened to be a spectacular play. Whether it was, questionable or not, has to be remain. I don't know.
It was Russ being Russ.
Right.
I mean, he was being aggressive, like Max said. But I don't believe that the cupboard is bare in Oklahoma City.
Right.
I think they have pretty good players on their team. I mean, Enes Kanter's a walking double-double. Victor Oladipo, you look at him last night, he was fantastic. He's trying to find his way there in Oklahoma City. He can really play. The Sabonis kid is young, but he can play.
He can shoot.
Steven Adams, guy that can really play. I mean, they're paying money. There's some players in there. I think Russell has to do a better job of trusting some of those players and also just empowering them.
Interesting you mentioned that. Guess where the Oklahoma City Thunder rank in terms of passes? Just passes per game.
Oh,
last.
Last.
It gotta
ding,
be
ding,
low.
ding.
Gotta be
Dead
low.
last. So that is, you can't empower those guys if the ball's not moving around. And I'm watching Steven Adams, and look, without Durant to stretch out those defenders, that paint is packed.
It is.
He's not getting the offensive rebounds. He's not getting the room to operate. I don't know what they do, because he was supposed to be the second step behind Russ
this
this
is
season.
where coaching has to come into play, right? And this is where you have to grab your star player, sit him down, and have him watch film. To have him it has to happen. It has to happen.
Russ ain't watching no film, no.
That's where coaching has to come in.
I know.
You have to have him understand how to get these other guys involved so you don't have to do too much. Trust me, it's tough to try to carry a team. When you don't have another superstar
when you
like
feel
KD,
like it's all on you.
It's tough. You can't do that for many years. I'm sorry.
Russell's going to have to sacrifice. He's going to have to sacrifice some of those assists. And you know what a hockey assist is? The pass before the pass.
Right.
That's the way that he has to play. Empower some of these guys. If you come off a pick and roll, there's no way to get downhill. There's no shot there. Swing it. Right now, the way that he's playing, he's getting big numbers. But what he's doing is either he's shooting the ball or he's the guy making the assist. That's just bad basketball to me.
It's frustrating because there will be times where these guys are not knocking down shots.
Right, and you feel
losing.
like, I've got to do it myself.
Exactly.
The Kobe rule, why would I pass it to someone not as good as me, as Kobe Bryant told us? I mean, not everyone, Chance, has your court vision. The film thing, though, is interesting because, of course, Russ came out after shoot-around yesterday and said he doesn't watch any film. He plays video games on his phone. I don't know, guys. Anyone who knows even a little bit about how an NBA team works, I don't buy that when they have team film sessions that Billy's letting him up there play on his phone while the rest of the guys are watching film. You don't buy that, right?
Well, I take it as he doesn't watch film indivially.
Extra film.
Yeah,
extra film.
On his own time.
Right. I mean, But Russ likes to exaggerate.
And unfortunately, he could be telling the truth. He's a guy who's a high turnover guy, and I think that watching film would benefit that. It would show you really where your guys like to be, where maybe you get in those tight situations and you just kind of throw a pass because you don't have a shot. Watching film will help you with those.
Absolutely.
Trust me, I know. That's the way that I kind of got better from stumping my head and turning the ball over a lot. So he needs a veteran on that team that will help him, that will teach him and tell him that.
Yeah.
Or a coach that is going to demand that he continue to do some of those things.
Well, I'm sure Billy is trying, although I wouldn't want to be the one personally sitting down Russ and explaining him how he should be playing. But it's part of the job. Let's move on to the Cavs. LeBron sat out his first game of the season last night, resting on the second night of a back-to-back. And, man, people got upset, folks. I don't know if it was the collective feel of a lot of big players sat out last night. Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis were also DMPs. But here's longtime Indianapolis columnist Bob Kravitz from last night. Quote, the wussification of America is complete now. It was bad enough during baseball season when managers started yanking productive starting pitchers after 5 innings, or when relievers hit the 30-pitch mark and broadcasters breathlessly wondered how that reliever might come back the next evening and, do the job he's paid millions to do. Now, though, we have LeBron James, Bob writes, sitting out the 11th game of the regular season. The 11th, not the 56th, not the 71st, the 11th. Look, Bob is a super respected writer. He broke the Deflategate story. He is a friend. As a friend, I would note that maybe he misses the point here, right?
Absolutely, he misses the point. And I see both sides, right? I mean, if you're Coach Tyronn Lue and the Cleveland Cavaliers, you're saying, I want to keep this guy fresh as long as I can. This guy's played an enormous amount of minutes over the course of his career.
6 straight finals.
And this is not his first, second, third, or fourth year in the league. This guy has double-digit years in the league. And I also see the other side, right? I'm a parent of 3 or 4 kids, right?
On the road.
Right.
On the road. When the schedule comes out in August or whatever, I'm going to this game. I'm taking my kids to this game. Now, that's an expensive night. You got the game.
Right.
You got parking. They want a jersey.
Right.
They want to eat. Now you show up.
You got
and LeBron James is not, he's in a suit, but he's not hurt.
Right.
So I understand both sides. And, it's a tough deal.
He said everything that I wanted to say. I mean, I definitely see both sides, but you also have to understand this guy's in his 14th season.
Right.
There's nobody in our league has played more minutes than LeBron James, right? His team, we all expect his team to go deep in the playoffs. He's giving this guy rest. He needs it in order for these guys to make that strong run, that strong push that we think they're going to make. This is nothing. I would rather for him to sit out at home than on the road, like Chauncey said.
Well, that's an interesting point.
Yeah, at home than on the road, because you only go in some places you play, travel once or maybe twice a year. So That's the only issue that I have with this.
Yeah, and look, I mean, this was because it was the second night of a back-to-back. Nate McMillan even chimed in a little bit on this, and Nate McMillan is someone who had back issues in his early 30s. Larry Bird, the president of that organization, back started to fall apart when he was 32. LeBron's turning 32 next month, and you got to be careful about this sort of thing. The thing I would be more concerned about if I was the Cavs, they're 4-16 without him since he's been back in Cleveland. So you got to figure that out because he might get injured one of these days, and he might be out for a stretch of time, and they got to.
Well, Nate McMillan should be happy.
That.
He should be happy he didn't play last night.
All right, we actually have something nice to say about the Knicks, so I want to make sure we get to that before the break. Kristaps Porzingis had a career-high 35 points last night. Even got his scowl on after finishing this alley-oop, and you know, on a team with Carmelo Anthony and Derrick Rose, it's the unicorn who has had at least a share of the scoring lead in 4 of the 5 Knicks wins this season. So is it fair, Chance, to call this his team now?
I don't know if you call it his team.
I asked Carmelo Anthony's friend, Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, he's got a few guys on that team that has accomplished a few more things than him. But I will say this. They need to empower this guy and feature him on the offensive end.
More.
He needs to be shooting 16, 17 shots a game.
More.
And when he does that, he should be shooting more shots?
More.
20, 25?
Give him 20. He's efficient. He's efficient.
I love him, man.
He's the
Mac,
most
I love
efficient
him.
scorer on your team that can play inside and out. I think you run the offense through him. Let's see. I mean, he's the new.
No, he's the real deal.
Yes, for sure.
He is the real deal. And he can take so much pressure off of Carmelo and off of Derrick Rose, who I'm sure feel a lot of pressure being in New York City, especially Carmelo.
Right.
Who's been there, and that's all he wanted to do was
I love this, by the way. He got the Kobe scowl down, right? You like that?
Hey, what you were working on in the past hasn't been working.
Right.
Let's give this a shot. I mean, this guy, I think he's coming into his own. He's a very efficient scorer. He has game. Let's run the offense through him. Let's see how we fare out.
Plus, we're just talking about minutes and all that stuff. This is a young body on a team where you have a lot of guys who've had some usage and injury issues.
Run.
So let it go.
Ride that horse.
Exactly.
When I played for the Clippers, we had, our schedule was patterned to us. It was good travel, good home stands, and, it catered to us. This is who gives about the Kings type schedule, So we just got to be ready to play.
Who gives a bleep about the Kings is what he called it. 4 sets of back-to-backs. That's the most in the NBA. 7 road games. 7 road games. They've obviously got more than 7 road games. I don't know why that's on there. And the end of that, I say. 5-game East Coast road trip, and they faced the Spurs twice. This must be in what they have done so far. So, look, I mean, do you feel that you played on the Clippers with Matt Barnes? He's saying that when you guys were together on the Clippers, the schedule was catered to a sort of show team like the Clippers in L.A., and that in Sacramento, his allegation is that may not be the case.
Matty is my guy, and this is Matt being Matt. I love Matt. But the bottom line is this. If you're a bad team, every team is hard. Every game is hard.
It's hard.
Every game is hard.
Going with that one, but
every game is hard when you're a bad team.
Hey, man, you make a lot of sense on that.
I mean, come on, man. That's the benefit of winning. You're going to have a little leniency. But if you're a bad team, you can't look on the schedule nowhere and circle and say, all right, we good that night.
Right.
That's a bad team if
Come
you can't.
on, man.
Right.
Every team is bad.
So it's not that the leagues, it's not the schedule makers are doing anything different. It's just that it feels different when you're on the Clippers and you can circle some easy wins.
When you're on the Clippers, I mean, you were winning,
yes.
right? Here, you don't do much winning. You don't have many winning streaks.
Right.
You're miserable. I didn't see anything wrong with the schedule.
No.
Nothing at all.
They have the 18th. They have the 18th toughest schedule, which would be not.
No, not at all.
So
Basically.
30
Not even mid. A little on the easy side, actually. So there you go.
That's what losing does to you.
There you go. Make or miss. Skills make Steph Curry with the and one last night, and he's so impressed.
First of all,
he stares. He thanks his own hand at the end of that.
I think like a point guard, he should have passed it to Iggy so Iggy could have dunked the ball instead of trying to get the and one.
Where was the foul?
But when he has the magic,
there wasn't one.
No. All right. Well, there you go. Miss Dunks, Tracy, Mr. Dunk. What is JaVale McGee thinking here?
Well, I'm actually gonna be on JaVale's side right here. It looks like he thought the guy was going to undercut him, which probably scared him.
Right.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
I get that.
You're 7'9", and you worried about somebody jumping out. Okay, that's fine too.
It's been a little bit more and more of a problem in the league. I don't know. Make fans, Chauncey. You ever sign autographs after getting ejected from a game like Devin Booker, the nicest kid in the world?
First of all, he's walking off the court with a smile.
Right.
The times that I've been ejected, it was nothing to laugh about. and I might have took that thing and threw that back on the court.
And you're getting beat by 15 or 20 right here.
Oh, man.
Well, look, if you're
like the
on
coolest
the Suns,
ejection ever right there.
If you're on the
man.
Suns, you've come to terms with being beat by 15 to 20. That's not like the thing that's going to set you off, right?
Wow.
He's a good kid, though, right? You guys have been impressed with him, Booker.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
One of my
He can
favorite
play.
young players in the league. He's going to be
like
an
his
all-star
game.
for a long
A lot
time.
of fun to watch. We'll have to see if eventually it feels like he's trapped the way, well, we'll find out.
Well, we hope not.
That's it
We
from
hope
LA. T-Mac is back tomorrow, and he made it!
Oh, he's used to that, huh?